Well, I'm here today in Singapore with Drayson from Ubiq Watches. Thank you very much, Drayson, for joining me today to talk about your brand.
Thanks for having me.
How are you watching, James? My name's James, you're watching me, and I'm talking about watches, and I'm talking about watches with Drayson from Ubiq Watches. And since I'm in Singapore, I'm really keen to catch up with as many brands as I can. So thank you again for coming and talking to me today about your watches.
Oh, I'm happy to, James.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your brand and about how it got started?
Okay, so I mentioned to you previously, like my wife actually thought about an idea of getting a nice watch that we can pass down to our son in the future. So I actually had a look at all the nice watches out there, but nothing really spoke to me, nothing really could tell a story for me. So being a designer for the past 20 years, I decided to, put my skills to use and starting putting the sketches to paper and design a watch on my own. And with the help of the local micro brand owners, they gave me a lot of advice and tips and ideas as well. And that started the journey, and we launched our first watch, Dual. Not this box, but Dual in 2024 last year. So this is Trek, our second model that launched this year.
And that's in a pre-release at the moment, or are they ready?
Yeah, it's still pre-released, but it's October now. It'll be sent out to the backers in November. I actually did it on Kickstarter.
And your brand certainly seems very design focused and driven with a lot of colour. Can you tell me about where these designs come from and where all these colours come from?
Right, so my day job is a creative director at my own design agency. So I play with colours very often, but deciding the colours for a watch is not that easy. So my son actually inspired a lot of it. Since I wanted a watch to tell the story between us, I'm inspired by his world. The toys he plays with, the shows that he watches, sometimes the way he combines colours when he's colouring his doodles.
Yep.
Yeah, so the inspirations come from there, colour-wise. But being a watch lover myself, the specs of the watch has to make sense. The movements, how the bezel actuates and stuff like that, and the water resistance. All this has to be something that I would want to use, like for a watch enthusiast. But colour-wise, I want it to be a bit more out there rather than, I wouldn't say boring, but
a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun.
Yeah, a little bit more interesting since it's about a connection with my kid. So fun, yeah, right. That's the word to use.
And what does your son think about your watches?
Sorry?
What does your son think about your watches?
He loves the bumblebee looking ones. So the first one I had a watch that has a combination of yellow and black, and I call it Bumble. So he loves that one. So for the second watch, I actually have one that is sort of in that color scheme as well. So that is his favorite again, Bumblebee.
Okay. And how did you go from thinking about watches through to going, actually, I think I'm going to start a watch brand?
Right. So in 2021, Singapore had a micro brand show called Spring Strength Sprung. So I went there to get a watch for myself actually. But the brand owners, they were all there and they were very willing to, we're just chatting about watches and all. But it was the passion in me. I wanted to do something for myself, and I started sketching like I said, but it was all still just ideas. But Travis from RZE is actually a great inspiration for me. I met him for coffee, I showed him my sketches, and he's the one that said, actually with your designs you could start a watch brand. And that kind of sparked something in me, and I kind of forced my way through it to make it a reality.
And you've got two models out at the moment. Can you tell me about the first model?
All right, the first model is Dual. Most of the watches, except for the colors, I design what I would want to wear. So Dual has a dual timing bezel. There's hours and minutes on the bezel, and it's a dive style watch, but instead of 120 clicks unidirection, it's bidirectional 60 clicks. It's all about what I would want to use in a watch. So I designed it that way, and so far that has been pretty well received, and people really like the colors. And for Trek, the second watch, I wanted something to be lighter, something that I can grab and go. Hence there's the option for the automatic Minota movement as well as the quartz movement, which is something I kind of lean towards more towards myself as well for Trek.
No, I think it's great when you have a look on the website and you see the second release and the two options, giving a price range difference, but also a movement choice difference. I think people are going to relate to that. And how have you been received with your customers and things? How have you sort of felt the orders are coming in?
Right.
How is the community receiving you?
The community has been great. So I have received a lot of positive feedback. Of course, some negative feedback help us to improve what we do. So one of the things that stood out to me particularly was Duo was a bit more expensive, but being the way it was produced, being the way that was our first watch, it had to be priced that way. But that led me to thinking about how we can reduce the price of the second watch to reach a wider audience, and that's what I did with Trek. So criticisms, positive or negative, it helps me build the brand better, and it guides the way forward.
And which of the watches are you wearing today?
Oh, I'm wearing the Trek.
Trek?
Right, so this is the Coral Glow, and Trek actually has two finishes. So it's in raw titanium with a hardening process, or it's in black DLC, which is also hardened. So both are lightweight, and the thing I like best about this is the lume blocks.
Yeah, so the numbers and the markers are all lume blocks?
Yes, the markers and numbers are loomed. So it's very obvious when we're stepping in a bright sunny place and I head to the car park, for example, it just glows. Yeah, so I love that.
And what are the sizes of the watches, both the first series, the Dual and the Trek?
So Dual is at 39mm. Remember the part where I told you my wife advised me to find a watch for our son? The watch I landed on was the Black Bay 58. And although it didn't really tell a story for me, I love how it wore. So that inspired Dual's size. It's a 39mm, 11.5mm thick. And for this one, it's 38. For a Field watch, there is no bezel, so I want to keep it a little bit smaller so that the watch face stays around the same.
And if people are thinking about buying the automatic versus the quartz version of the Trek, what are the sort of other differences? Is it a little bit thinner, the quartz version?
No, for a small brand like ours, we have to keep the minimum order quantity in mind. So the way I designed it, both movements fits into the same case. There's a very slight difference, just the way the crown sits less than 1mm lower in the quartz version, but to the naked eye you can't tell at all. But both of them has the same case size of 38mm and the thickness of 11.1mm.
That's a great set of dimensions anyway for a quartz or a automatic watch, so I'm very happy with that. And what movements are you using when you're using the mechanical movements?
For mechanical movements, my favorite is actually Miyota. So for me, that's reliable, but the thing that I prefer about it over Seiko is the high beat. Even though it makes a small difference, but 4 Hz just feels better for me. And for the quartz version, I went with Seiko instead this time. The VH31, because of its 4 ticks per second, gives a little bit of that mechanical feel.
Absolutely. And what are the watches made of, the Dual and the Trek?
So Dual, it's made of stainless steel, 316L, and Trek is hardened titanium, grade 2.
And they've got a scratch resistance built into them as well.
So for the raw titanium look, it has 1,200 Vickers of hardness, and this DLC has 600 Vickers, but that is still at least 4 times stronger than stainless steel. Right.
And as a newer brand, I always like to try and learn a bit more as well myself. What has been the biggest challenge that you've found since starting this brand that perhaps you weren't expecting when you decided to make a watch company?
Well, the design is something fun for me. So watch is a new canvas that I love exploring. I have gigabytes and gigabytes of files on my computer. I enjoy doodling every day, working out what the next watch could be. That's fun. The challenge would be running a business. To make this viable, it actually has to make money so that I can make more watches, to make them a reality. So running the day-to-day business, handling orders, packing stuff, getting them ready to go, especially promoting it, I find that pretty difficult.
So if people want to get to your watches, obviously we can look at your website to buy all the watches, but is there any physical locations that we could see them in person?
Right. We are mainly online at our site as well as some watch stores, but the physical location you can check out our watches is in Watchpoint in Melbourne.
Well, I'm definitely be going there in the near future, so I'll be checking them out as well. So thank you very much for your time today. I really do appreciate it taking up. I really hope that you got to have a good understanding of now the Ubik range, and I'm going to show lots of footage of them so you get a bit of an understanding. And I hope to see you in the next video.
Thank you.